Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys are tuned in to watch another episode of People. So, if you haven't watched it, I do recommend watch my other videos. I've done people walking on the side, walking in from the front, walking from the back, and then I'm going to close this series. I wouldn't say series, at least this part where people walking with their pets. I think these four videos sum up all the characters you need for a cityscape, which I'm going to do in coming weeks or coming episodes. So to start with, I have a 300 grams Saunders paper. It's rough. And I have some tissue paper for soaking up some extra pigment or water. And at the moment, I'm going to be using 2 or 3 synthetic brush. These are really cheap Jackson synthetic brush. These are watercolor synthetic brush. I've been having it 8 years now. So they are wonky, but they do the job. They are stiff, and then that's what you need for a watercolor sketch. For the pencil, I'm using a mechanical clutch pencil. It's a Faber-Castell TK9400. Also, on my right, I have a John Pike Big Well palette. So I got a bunch of colors, and then also if you guys are anybody is interested in what colors I use, let me know. I can post a photo of what those colors are. And also I have 2 bottles of water, which you can't see. One is slightly murkier than the other, and I have a little bit of tissue to soak that up. And let's start. And also do like the video and consider subscribing the video if you like, and hit that notification button so you don't want to miss on the opportunities. Not opportunity, on the video. What am I talking? Anyway, let's begin. So this one is a loose sketches. If you have seen my other sketches, these have enough details to know what the action of the person is, but not enough details like the fingers, the eyes, the nose, the details. These are just rough sketches, which probably will be a lot smaller when you do it, and then it'll have a much better view. So I'm gonna do. So if anybody doesn't know how to do a little bit of skin tone, I would say is use a little bit of red, predominantly a little bit of red, a little bit of yellow, and a little bit of green. Sorry, blue. This one turns a little bit, so you can get that one is a slightly darker skin tone. If you want to do a light on fair skin tone, let me just clean up my palette. It's dirty, but it has its applications, especially for doing a clean skin tone. I'm going to use a little bit of red, a little bit of yellow to make it orange, and a tiny bit of this one is ultramarine blue. And that gives you a pale. We want it to be slightly pale. And you want to make it a little more lighter. By adjusting what you need, you can tweak and get the color you need. So this one, as I would say, a little more darker skin tone. So that's all you need to know about skin tones. I would say red makes yellow, makes a little blue. If you know anything about primary colors, the color wheel, these are the 3 primary colors. I would say about 70% red, 20% yellow, and probably 10%. So that would give a good indication of where you want to go, and then you get different primary colors or different skin tones. Okay. I just drew a line just to know where I'm drawing at the moment. So I'm going to try to Probably I'm going to try to squeeze in. Also, in the picture, I have few dog rough images just to show where. Okay, I'm going to do. There's the third, and there's a. So long hair. If you've seen, it's a drawing of economics, or not economics, very less detail. What I meant was economical drawing, not economics. And blue shorts, and that's it. And for the dog, so that's how a dog is. So if you know any volumes, and I'm doing a leg, and the dog is kind of kneeled, but I think I'm going to just do a couple of ears, just to get an idea. And also she's got a leash, and another hand goes in. So slightly bigger head. And there's another lady. So before that, if I do another dog, the dog from the back, as I said, think of it as a rectangle. So what I'm doing is doing it that way. So there comes the head, ear, I'm trying to build a block that gives you a little bit of volume. The same thing with the dog in the front. If I do a little bit of a couple more dogs, the ear and the body. So it's got that's under the dog. A dog sitting is just under the big and you could put the tail just to give a little more. Okay, if I can do a couple more dogs, there's a dog sitting. So basically I'm just putting a tail so that it just makes it a little more exaggerated view. And for this one, going back, so it's got a tail and it's got a head facing that way. There's another lady. So roughly the head sticks out here. I'm using just eyeballing. Just got a black coat. And shoe anchored. So another leg. The other shoes is slightly hidden. And she's got a jacket, and there is a leash. The third dog. So roughly that's the back, and then it's bent forward with his head. Same story. So the tail goes behind, and so you can see the 4 legs. That's about it. And there's another lady with a dog with a puppy. So I'm just doing a block. And another rectangle just to know where my volumes are. And another leg in the back. That's all I need. And there's a lady. So the leg is and I'm just using reference lines. Not much detail, but enough detail to know who or what that lady is doing. So okay, if I could find an eraser at the moment. Okay, for an eraser, I will just erase the dog in the background so that it's not confusing. I will, if needed, I will draw the dog again. So that doesn't clash with the dog. And the final thing is the girl with the puppy. Different volumes, very cute skirt. So it comes from the hip. So slightly bigger head. And another hand with the puppy, and the puppy, half of the puppy's face is covered. And I'm going to, because there's not enough space, I'm going to just turn the puppy a little on the sideways, so that we have a little more space to draw. Okay, so a little pronounced forehead and the dog. That's it. So when you see it, it's more of economics. I will draw the dog again. So all it was doing was sleeping and four dogs. Yep. Okay. So there's no particular rhyme or reason, any colors, as long as you're following all the paintings. There's 4 steps to all of my paintings. At least that's what I have understood and I've learned. So you want to do the drawing, you want to do the light tones, you want to do the mid tones, and you want to do any highlights if needed. Always 4 stages. 1, 2, 3, and 4 stages. So I've done my drawing. I'm going to go to the light tones, the lowest possible tones. I'm going to use a little bit of indigo. My palette's a little dirty, but and then also it's slightly inclined. I'm going to use slightly wet, a little more water so that it bleeds in. I'm using a little more yellow ochre. So I will let it bleed in the paper. And for, as I talked about, a little bit of skin tone. I'm not particularly worried about Also keep in mind when you're painting, it looks a lot darker before it dries. I would say about 30%. When you're drawing, be bold, paint a little darker, because it's going to be 30-40%. I would say at least 30% lighter. Okay, and the dog is, I'm going to do, it's a black dog. I'm picking up some neutral tint. So the legs, I'm going to be paying a little more attention. Okay, there's another dog which is gray in color, so I'm going to as well do that. So bear with me, it doesn't look like a dog, but it will once I put the second tone and the medium tone. And the third dog, I'm going to use a little bit of burnt sienna. All right, and for the lady, she's wearing a black as well. While my palette is wet, I'm going to just use my palette to do that brush. And she's got a same yellow ochre or blonde hair. I'm using a little bit of ultramarine. Cerulean blue, sorry, that's not ultramarine, it's a cerulean blue. And for the shoes, it's just I'm just picking up a little bit of color from the palette. Okay, and going to the top, so I'm going to do a light golden, looks like a golden retriever, and there's another dog in the background. So I'm going to just pick up some color. I'm going to leave, he's got a little bit of white on his chest. Then there is another dog, some shade of, let's do ultramarine. Good doggy, good doggy. Bear with me, it doesn't look like a dog, but it will roughly look like a dog. Okay, so I'll make this one as a slightly black dog as well. I'll put in a little bit of red. All right, okay, moving on. We're going with a good pace. The face, a little bit of red hand. Now let's do, just give a little bit of texture. Greenish jacket. That's a mix of green and a little bit of indigo. And she's got, let's make it slightly reddish hair. And she's got a black trousers, but let's make it slightly bluish just to mix it up, or else it looks too monotonous. All right, and she's got a, just for kicks, let's do a little bit of green. Shows white and green shoes. So she's got a little bit of lace as well. It's a little more water than I wanted, so I'm going to just do a little bit of green. Okay, and for the girl, I'm taking up a little bit of ultramarine blue and a cerulean blue mix. And for the petals, I'm not going to do all the petals, but let's do a turquoise textured skirt. That's it. Pinkish skin. And she's got a pretty purple. She's a little bit of blonde hair. Okay, and for the dog, we'll do a light coat first, and then we'll come back and then add those dark tones. That's it. Oh, I missed a dog. So this one is blackened black. There's a little bit of black. A little bit of leg is black. And I'm taking a little bit of red. It's brown, but let's do a little dark. And okay, that's sounds all right. Okay, and pay attention every time when you're doing a painting, you need to have a light source. For this particular image, the light looks like it's from that direction. For this particular image, I would say the light is from that direction, and for the girl, the light is from the direction. So it will give you an idea where to paint. And for this one, I think all the is from that direction. Let's just try to. I want to take a slightly smaller brush, and we'll go from the top. So a little bit of shadow under the dogs makes it. It's sitting in the sun. Okay, I'm going to just take a little more darker tones. And the tail. And so a little bit of collar, an eye, and a nose. And I will a little bit here, and I will come back and add a little more highlight, but that should do it. And the dog which is sitting, we can't make all the details, but I'm going to just add a little bit of paw. That's it. So that, and there's shadows coming from there, so there's a little shadow, and I will come back and then I will do, this is the medium tone, I'll put in the highlights when we come back. So the third dog, I'm not sure which dog this is, so I'm putting the shadow on the sides. And it's a collar, a little nose. Let's do a green tape. Okay, I'll come back and then I will do the details, the highlights. So a little bit of nose, an eye. Let's do, and the shadow is over here. So this one. All right, that's enough. And the light's over here. So I'm gonna make that area darker. I'll come back, and for the jacket, I'm gonna add that little bit of texture, and she's got a. All right, that should be enough. It's too much water in the palette. I'm just soaking up. It's super easy. If there's more water, all you have to do is just soak it up. I need a little more darker. She's got something. Let's do pocket. So we are doing that's it, and we'll put a little bit of highlight on the side, and then we'll come back and then do a little bit of shadow. But what I need is the face needs a little more darkening, and then there's also a little darkening on the other side. And even though there's no fingers, I'll just add a little more highlights. Okay, ultramarine blue, a little bit of green. Let's do this woman's jacket. So the light is on the other side, so we are doing okay with yellow ochre and dark high tones. So we are doing with the same color. I'm going to just do, I'm assuming it her daughter's. Okay, and to the shirt, and to her shorts. And coming back to her skin tone. Okay, we're getting there. Just checking. Okay, and the dog, darker gray. So you got it, and then it doesn't have a. That's it. And for this dog, so my tummy is rumbling. I don't know whether the microphone is picking up. I hope not. And good boy, and that's it. And the third dog. So it's got I'm just looking for where dots are, and that should give you a sense that that's a dog. All right, and going to the next one, I'm gonna add a black eye, black nose, a little bit of that, and little highlights, so the shadow follows the other side. I'll pick a little more and just we'll leave it there, and just to differentiate, I'm going to put in a purple color with that. Okay, and coming to the other dog. So it's got, let's see, so it's got a brown back, the tail, it's got a spot here, and that's a brown leg. Yeah. I'm going to take a slightly smaller brush. I'm going to just add a couple more details. The nose, the eyes, and a little bit of dirt in the leg. I'm happy with that. And changing colors. So the light is from this direction. So I'm going to add, it can be a little darker. And for the jacket, it's fine, and I'll come back, maybe I'll add a couple more atoms. And that will take a slightly gray. That's it. And for the shoes, I'll come back, maybe add a little more. Almost there. So I'm going to just cross check if it needs any more highlights. I'm going to just go, not to forget, the leads. That's what ties in the lead. Even though there's no lead, I'm going to just put in a lead, a collar, and this one doesn't have a lead. That's fine. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna come back and then add a little bit of shadow. So the shadow goes that way. So that anchors and the other dog. So make sure all the four legs are anchored. And not to mention the and so the light is on the other side, so I tend to, this is not, we're not trying to be exact, but gives you there you go. So this is an easy to do people with their pets. I hope you enjoyed it. So as you said, I did a light tone, a mid tone, and I completed with my highlights. Always, most of my paintings will always be in 4 layers. I hope you liked the video. consider subscribing it, and then hit that notification button so that you don't miss a video. And then please in the comments tell me what you would like to see, and I would paint more. The first few series is going to be all essential fundamentals, and then I'm going to start building on some landscapes, cityscapes, and random things I like. Till next time, have a wonderful life and keep watercolor painting. Good night, good morning, good afternoon. Bye.